Morning, yogis. We'll be going live in a few minutes. Welcome if you're just joining in. My name is Margie. I will be teaching you all levels of Vinyasa Flow. If you have a mat, get that rolled out. If you have a playlist that you'd like to listen to, get that set up. And make sure that you can see and hear me from wherever you're set up for your yoga practice. We'll be using a strap. You can use a long towel or anything else that helps you reach your legs. If you have tight hamstrings, so find that and then bring that beside your mat. It's a little bit warm this week. Make sure you hydrate. Have some water nearby. And just take it easy. Listen to your body. Let's begin our practice. Come onto your mat and start on our backs. Make sure you have that strap nearby. If you're just tuning in, you can also use a long towel. Just roll onto your back. If you'd like, you can bring your legs from side to side. You want to reach the arms overhead. And a big stretch. Breathe into the back. Breathe into the front side of the body. And then release. We're going to bring your right leg into the chest. Give yourself a quick squeeze. And you're going to bring that strap to the bottom of that right leg. So to lengthen the strap so the arms can be straight. And then release the shoulders down to the mat. So to press your right heel away from you. Don't worry if it's not going towards the ceiling. In fact, I want you to start with a little bit lower angle. That works better for you. Here, start to send your tailbone and your pubic bone towards the end of your mat. So you create a little bit of that natural curve in your lower back. And then if it's going okay, keep that. Start to lengthen your left leg out towards the end of the mat. Flex the toes up towards the sky. Activate that left leg. Reach to the heel. And then notice if both sides of the waist are even. Can you send this right leg towards the end of your mat as well, so that you lengthen both sides of the torso. If you'd like, you can press that right leg a little bit straighter without letting the arms bend. Full inhale here, stretching the back side of that right leg. And then exhale, both ends of the strap coming into that right arm. Bring that left hand to your left hip. So to open up to the side, getting a hip opening position in that right leg. Only go as far as you can where this left hip stays grounded. If you feel like you're rolling off to the side, you've gone a little bit too far, come back a little bit, and then stay here for a few breaths. You're going to come back to center. You're going to bring the straps into that left arm, so opposite leg and arm. You're going to roll that right leg all the way over and across the body, stacking that right hip over the left. Reach that right arm out to the side. Gaze over that right shoulder if it's comfortable for the neck. Notice here if that right side of the torso is a little bit shorter, send the top of that right leg again towards the end of your mat. So you lengthen out, evening the torso here. Keep reaching that bottom leg, your left heel towards the end of the mat as well, finding activation. Coming into the twist and then releasing. Bring both knees into the chest first. Maybe roll from side to side. And then set up for the other side. Left leg comes into the loop this time. Right leg plants with the foot bent, leg bent first. And then when you're ready, start to lengthen the arms, walk the shoulders away from the ears, find your natural lumbar curve. This time, can you also pay attention to pressing your lower ribs down towards the ground? So although you'll have that natural curve in the low back, we're going to make sure we're not flaring our ribs up. Keep that. Start to straighten your right leg any amount. It doesn't have to go all the way to straight, where you can maintain that lower lumbar curve and press the bottom ribs down. So getting into our natural curves of the spine. Working that left leg a little bit straighter if you'd like. Breathe into the back of that left leg. Even out the torso on the left and the right waist. All the things we worked on the first side. Both ends of the strap comes to the left hand. Right hand to right hip. So you take this left leg out into a hip opening position, but keeping the pelvis grounded. Staying in that neutral position. And then when you're ready, going over and across. This time stacking the hips. You can shift a little to the side. You need a little bit more room to work with. And then send the top of that left thigh towards your butt, the end of your mat as well. Getting even in the torso. Full inhale here. And exhale out. Inhale back to center. Bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a quick squeeze. Maybe roll from side to side. And then however you'd like, meet me in your tabletop. Move the strap out to the side. Spread the fingers out wide. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Couple of cat-cows here. Inhale, reach your heart forward. Allow the shoulder blades to come closer together. Reach the pubic bone and tailbone behind you and slightly up. Exhale, start to press the mat away with the hands and the lower legs. Lift the heart, lift the belly. Gaze can come down to the mat. Inhale, stretching front side of the body in your cow pose. And exhale, doing the spine and cat. See if you can find movement in both directions and the three curves of the spine. So with the tilt of the hips, we get into the lower back. And then with the press of the heart to the mat, to the sky, we get into that upper back. Then noticing here, your neck will probably be the most mobile part. Being gentle as we start to practice. Try not to throw your head in either direction. And then come back to your tabletop. You're going to reach that right arm out to the side, open across the chest on your inhale. Exhale, thread the needle, right arm comes underneath. Come onto your right shoulder, right side of the face. Option to stay here, or start to take that left arm towards the top of your mat. If this does not work for you, if you have any pressure, it doesn't feel good in the neck, just bring your right forearm down. Look over that left shoulder. Still getting in a twist. Think about rolling your right ribs towards the left side of your mat. If you have your left arm outstretched, replace that left hand and press back up to your tabletop. Other side. Inhale, left arm reaches out and up, opening up the chest. Exhale, threading this left arm underneath the right. Left side of the face to the mat, or taking the forearm variation. Option, stay here with your right hand grounded. Make sure you have a little bit of room for your neck, or you can reach that right arm forward. If this dumps too much weight into the neck, keep your right hand by the face to support. Breathing in this twist, inhaling. Exhaling. You place that right hand, if it moves, press back up to your tabletop. All right. From here, we're going to take that right leg behind you, and then you can stay on the toes, or you can lift that right leg. Reaching that left hand forward, reaching that left arm up. Breathing here, stabilizing, turning on the torso, turning on the core. Hug that left hip into the midline. If all is going okay, you can stay here. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, come up to your right fingertips. Breathe. And then release. Other side. Replace the hands. Left leg goes behind you. On the toes or hovering. Flex the foot, reach through the heel. Hug that right hip in. When you're ready, send that right arm forward. Either on the hands or lifting the hand here. If you did so on the other side, coming up to your fingertips on that left hand. It's getting a little bit more challenging here. Only adding on if it makes sense. Gently release. Back to that first side. If you want the fingertip variation, you can take that. Reaching opposite arm and leg out. Adding movement. Exhale, elbow to the knee. Inhale to reach and extend. Exhale to draw in and up. We're doing 3 of these on this side, and then we'll switch. Last one. And then release. Other side. On the fingertips if you did on the first side. Right arm, left leg. Breathe. You can always just stay in the middle, stabilizing. Exhale, elbow to the knee. Really pressing that lower leg in the standing right leg to help you. Breathing here. Notice if this causes any tension in the neck. Can you release that? Your neck doesn't have to help you take these movements. And then gently release. Tabletop. Couple of cat-cows here, if it helps. And then we set up for child's pose. We bring the knees a little bit wider. Bring the big toes towards one another. Send your hips towards the back of your mat. Walk the arms out in front of you. And get torso in between the legs if you can. If this is uncomfortable, you can bring the knees a little bit closer together. Coming into our first hip opener. Child's pose is available to you at any time. You can take this as an alternative to downward facing dog. You can also take this as a resting pose at any time. Just walk both hands to the left side of the mat. Finding a right side body stretch. Inhale here. And exhale. Inhale back to center. Switching sides. Walk your hands over to the right side of your mat. Getting a left side body stretch. We'll inhale. And exhale. Inhale back to center. Press up to your tabletop. Setting up for our first downward facing dog. I'm going to tuck the toes. We're going to start to hover the knees here. Starting to activate the belly by imagining drawing your hands and your feet towards the center of your mat. How's that feel? Unshrug the shoulders. Reach the collarbones forward. Belly button draws in and up towards the spine. Exhale, start to send your hips towards the back of your mat. Still hovering your knees. When you're ready, lifting the hips. Coming into your first downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal out the legs. Spread out the fingers. Rearrange the hands as needed. You want to find a shoulder width distance. Wrists parallel to the top of your mat. Or slightly even turning outwards. So if you need to, instead of pointing your index finger forward, you can turn it slightly outwards if it gives you more room for the shoulders. And then return to a still downward facing dog. Let's walk the hands towards the legs. Bend the knees a lot. Allow your head and neck just to release here. Standing forward fold. First one of class. So we keep a really big bend in the legs in order to release the spine. Release the head and the neck. Don't worry if the hands don't touch the ground. We'll have different proportions, different flexibility, different movement patterns. And then focus on
Lifting the sitting bones towards the sky. Maybe starting to bring a little bit more weight towards the front of your feet, but still keeping the heels grounded. Activating the back of the legs, the hamstrings here. And then bring the hands to the hips. On your next inhale, begin to roll on up, stacking one vertebra at a time. Head and neck will be last to lift. Meet me at the top of your mat. Mountain pose. Feet hip width distance or big toes touching. Arms by the sides. Inhale, reach out and then up. Gaze forward. And then if it's comfortable for your neck, you can start to take the gaze up towards the sky. Palms are facing each other. Send your tailbone and your pubic bone towards the ground. Notice that the ribs are flaring here. Draw the bottom ribs towards the back of the room. Breathe. Upward salute. And then exhale, hands come to the heart, palms together. Mountain pose. You can close the eyes or gaze down at the fingertips. Set an intention for this time. Dedicate this time to someone or something that's important to you today. Come back to this intention whenever you find your mind wandering off of the mat. Come back to the breath. Full inhale here. Full exhale out. Seal the lips, begin to turn on your Ujjayi breath. Breathing in and out of the nose. Slight constriction at the back of the throat. Creating a little bit of heat. Open mouth exhales at any time to release heat. Coming into your first sun salutation. Blink the eyes open. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. You can swan dive the arms out, or you can bring the hands to the heart. Inhale, lift up halfway. Hands come to the shins or to some blocks. Reach the heart forward, and then lift the shoulder head slightly here. Exhale to fold all the way down. You can keep the knees bent as much as you need. Plant the hands, step that right leg back. Back knee lowers. Inhale, lift the chest, coming up to your low lunge. We're only here for one breath. Exhale, plant the hands, step to your downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bring that right foot in between the hands, back knee lowers. If there's a different transition, feel free to take it. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, plant the hands, step that left leg forward. Inhale, come up halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, press all the way to standing. Then exhale to fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale, plant the hands, left leg steps back this time. Back knee lowers. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale to plant the hands. You can go faster or slower than that. Keep step to your downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg reaches. Exhale, left foot comes forward. Back knee down. Inhale, low crescent. Exhale, plant the hands. Step forward. Inhale, come up halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, press to standing. Then exhale to fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, right leg steps back. Back knee lowers. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, come to your downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot steps. Back knee lowers. Inhale, lengthen the chest. Lift the low belly. Exhale, plant the hands. Left leg steps forward. Inhale, lengthen, come up halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way to upward salute. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, left leg steps back. Inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, plant the hands, downward facing dog. Last time, inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, step through. Inhale, low crescent. Exhale, plant the hands. Inhale, step forward. Come up halfway. Exhale, to fold. Inhale, we meet in a standing position. Exhale, hands come to your heart center. Pull inhale here, pressing into both hands. Draw the shoulders down and away from the ears. Lift the belly, lift the chest. Exhale. And then from here, we're going to sit into our imaginary chair pose. Imaginary chair to get to chair pose. Lower the hips, bending the knees a lot. And then here you can either keep the knees apart, ankles apart, or start to toe heel your feet together, knees together. Chair pose, more weight in the heels. If you'd like to add on, you can send your arms forward. Imagine squeezing something in between the hands. The arms are really active. If you'd like to take it a little bit more challenging, you can start to take the arms up towards the sky. Notice what's happening in the rest of the spine as you lift the arms, and you draw the bottom ribs towards the wall behind you, and then send your tailbone and pubic backbone towards the ground. Keeping the lower back long, lifting the low belly. We're here for 3, for 2, for 1. Press to standing, mountain pose. Notice if you're holding your breath. Come back to that chair pose. Any arm variation that works for you. And then exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, we come up halfway lift. Exhale, we plant our hands, we step back into a plank pose. Collarbones reach forward, you can lower down to your knees as needed. And then everyone will meet on the mat. Shift forward if you'd like. Coming through a chaturanga, lower down halfway, and then all the way to your belly. Make sure the toes reach straight back, and then reach the arms forward. From here, we're going to draw the front side of the body, front side of the chest, forward as much as possible. Reach your toes towards the back of the room as much as possible. So go for as much length as you can instead of height. All right. As you start to draw your arms towards you, you're going to start to reach your heart forward and up. Tighten the belly, reach your belly button to the spine, reach the toes to the back of the room, and then exhale to release all the way down. Again, dragging your hands towards you, but allowing the front side of your body to lengthen. Engage the upper back. Belly is strong, tailbone reaching behind you, and then exhale to lower all the way down. All right, we're going to find that same movement, but without the arms forward. Arms come by the sides. Plant the hands around the lower of the rib cage so the elbows are right above the wrists. Draw the elbows towards the back of the room. Create grasshopper-like arms. And then inhale, reach the heart forward. Collarbones reach forward, belly is strong. Little to no weight in the hands, spread the fingers out wide. You can also come up to your fingertips. Reach the tailbone, pubic bone, to the back of the room. Toes reach back. Exhale to release. This time pressing a little bit more into the feet, maybe lifting the knees. Inhaling, cobra pose, maybe coming up to a high cobra, working the arms a little bit straighter, but not dumping into that lower back. Lower back is long. Exhale to release all the way down. Last time, making our way to upward facing dog. If it works okay for you, you can always skip that or stay in cobra pose. On the inhale, press the arms all the way to straight. Activate the legs, the knees lift. The top of the legs are lifted off of the legs. Open up the chest here. Shoulders come over the wrists. And then exhale, lift the hips. Tuck the toes or flip the feet. Come to your downward facing dog. Full inhale here. Open mouth, exhale out. Keep as much of a bend in the legs as you need in order to keep the spine long. All right. From here, inhale, right leg reaches up. Exhale, we're going to step that right foot in between the hands. Back knee, spin the back heel down. And then reach the heart forward. Come up to your fingertips. Hug that right hip into the center line. Wrap that right seat underneath that right thigh. And then bring the arms by your sides. Belly button to the spine. Lift the chest. Close the belly. Come up to your warrior one. Reaching the arms out and then up. Imagine squeezing something in between the arms again. Or activating the arms. Keep drawing that right thigh towards you. And then back. Rolling that left hip forward. Back heel is sealed to the mat. Outer edge of the back foot is grounded as well. Warrior one pose. You're spiraling the spine so that the chest faces forward. And then exhale. Here we're going to cactus the arms, lift the heart. As you lift the collarbones up, can you lift the low belly? Can you draw the bottom ribs slightly behind you so that you don't take all the pressure into where the upper and mid back. Connect. Inhale to rise back up. Exhale, lengthen your stance if you'd like. Heel to heel alignment, open up that front hip. Warrior two, gaze forward past that front arm. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Right arm reaches up and back for a side body stretch. And then exhale, start to straighten out that front leg. Reach forward, reach past that front leg, and then start to reach that right arm down. Left hand to left hip to start. Start to roll that left shoulder to stack on top of the right. Front knee, front toes are in the same line. So if you were to bend your right leg, you notice it's pointing in the same direction as the toes. Now reaching left arm up in your triangle pose. Inhale, rebend the front leg, come back to your warrior two, gaze forward. Exhale, circle the hands down. Come onto your plank pose. You can skip completely or add a vinyasa. We're gonna lower down halfway for our chaturanga. Inhale for cobra, high cobra, or all the way to upward facing dog. Exhale, we meet, and downward facing dog. Pull inhale here. Open mouth, exhale out. Inhale, left leg reaches back. Exhale, we're gonna draw this left foot forward. Back heel spins down. Remember, if you have a different transition to get here, you can always take that. Come up to the fingertips. Draw the low belly in. Make sure the outside of that right foot is touching down. You're gonna bring the arms to your sides. Lift the shoulder heads. Lift the chest of the belly. Warrior one. When the grounding through the feet, reach the arms up. Left thigh draws towards you. Right hip draws forward as much as possible. And then the rest of the spine spirals so that the chest is facing forward. Warrior one pose. Full inhale here. And then on your exhale, we're going to cactus the arms. We're going to come into that mini back bend. Lifting the heart up. Gaze can come up. Think about going up and over at the heart. Still drawing the low belly, low ribs rather, slightly back. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, warrior two. Heel to heel alignment or heel to arch, whichever feels more spacious in your hips. Make sure that the hips are about the same level. Sometimes we kind of tip the hips forward already as if you're going into triangle pose. Arms reach out in line with the shoulders and in line with the front and the back leg. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Lift the arms up and back. Find a side body stretch. Keep that front knee bending, but imagine drawing that left heel towards you. Draw your back leg towards you. And then come into triangle pose. Rise on up, straighten out that front leg. Reach forward and past that front leg. And then bring that left hand to the left shin. Right hand to your right hip. So to roll that right shoulder so that it stacks on top of the left shoulder. Both sides of the torso are long instead of creating an arch. So go for length and evenness. Reaching that top arm up when you arrive. Inhale, rebend that front leg, gaze forward. Exhale, circle the hands down, finding your plank pose. Optional vinyasa as always. You can always stay in plank. You can give me some shoulder taps. If that helps, challenge you still. Everyone, we meet in downward facing dog. We'll inhale here. Open mouth, exhale. All right, come down to your knees, tabletop. We're going to do a quick prep for half moon where we're going later. All right. You can come into a modified side plank. Pivot your left shin at an angle. And then you're going to bring your right leg to the back of your mat. You're going to bring that right hand to your right hip. And then make sure that both sides of your torso are long. Kind of create an arch sometimes. So just readjust this by hugging the collarbones forward. Hugging might not be the right word. I'm going to bring that right leg to lift, flex toes. And then think about rolling the inner inseam down and then behind you so that your heel is actually slightly higher than your toes. Both sides of the torso long. Start to turn your chest so that your right shoulder is on top of the left. And then here, without sticking your right knee out to the side, without sticking it down, you're just going to bend that right leg. a Chapasana variation in half moon later if you'd like to take it. Draw the bottom ribs in towards the wall behind you. If it's going okay, reach behind you, capture that back foot. Your right knee is still pointing towards the back of your mat, and then you're pressing the hips forward. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Gently release. Other side. Side plank variation here. Spin that right shin out at an angle. Make sure your right hand, right knee are in the same line as your left leg. All right. Left hand underneath the shoulders, so you're stacking the joints. Lifting that left leg. Once you find both sides of the torso are even, lengthen. And then start to lift the inseam of the lifted leg so that the heel is a little bit higher than the toes. You should feel the outer part of your leg turn on. Start to bend the lifted leg. Keep sending this left knee towards the back of the room. Capture the back foot if you want. Always optional. You can also use the strap. It's not quite accessible with the fingers. Breathe. Draw the lower ribs towards the wall behind you. Activate the belly. And then release. Tabletop. Let's do that in a standing position now. When you're ready, downward facing dog. Full inhale here. Open up, exhale up. Inhale, right leg lifts up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step through. Back heel spins down, come up to your fingertips. When you're ready, inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, triangle pose, front leg straightens. Now gaze down at the mat. If you have a block nearby you'd like to use, or you can just use a water bottle or something sturdy that won't crumble if you put pressure on it. You can keep that nearby. We're going to inhale, slightly bend that front leg as you slide the back leg in. Make sure whatever you're using is sturdy. Right hand can come in front of that right leg, a few inches in front, and start to take that left leg up. Just like in our side plank variation, you want to spin the heel a little bit higher than the toes. Once you find steadiness, length on both sides of the waist. Start to turn your left shoulder on top of the right. From here, Chapasana variation if you'd like. Start to bend that top leg, lift the leg, maybe reaching behind you, maybe capturing that back foot. Repoint that left knee to the back wall, towards the back of your mat. Gaze can be down to the side or even up. Hug the lower ribs in. Gently release. Inhale here. Half moon pose. Exhale, land back into your warrior two. Gaze forward. When you're ready, circle the hands down. Finding your plank pose. Optional vinyasa as always. And we meet in your downward facing dog. Other side, inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, draw this left foot through. Back heel spins down. Come up to your fingertips. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, triangle pose. Here, start to gaze down. Start to bend that front leg. Start to reach past that front leg to a block, to the ground, or maybe whatever. You can even bend the standing leg a little bit more if it helps you get to the ground, if you don't have anything nearby. Just make sure that if you're bending this knee, the knee and toes are in the same line. Top hand to top hip. Lifted leg is engaged, activated here. Flex the foot, toes slightly pointing down. Heel is higher than the toe. Roll, spin the chest so that the right shoulder is on top of the left. Bend that standing or lifted leg. Reach behind you, capture that back foot. And then repoint the right knee towards the end of your mat. Hug the low ribs in. All the things we worked. Remember to breathe. Gently release. Half moon. Maybe floating the fingers off of the block. Inhaling. And then exhale. Land back in your warrior two. Circle. Hands down. Plank pose. Optional vinyasa or straight to your dog. Full inhale here. Exhale out. Notice the breath. Can you find steadiness in the breath? Always returning to the breath, especially if you find your mind wandering. All right. Adding on, inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, meet me at the top, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, finding that chair pose. We've been here before. Arm variation of your choice. Exhale. This time your standing leg will be your right leg. The left leg is going to lift up. Breathing here. With that left leg lifted, notice that that left hip is higher than the right. Draw that left leg down towards the ground. Hug that standing leg hip into the midline. All right, we're going to start to take this into a twist. We're going to start to turn towards that left leg. Notice here, if you're starting to lean back, can you get the shoulders above the hips? Can you draw that left leg towards you if you notice you're sticking your left leg up? Inhale back to center. Exhale, we're going to sit into eagle pose. Bending your standing leg, cross that left leg up and over. Draw the arms forward, right arm under. Grab onto opposite shoulders, crossing at the back of the palms or crossing both palms. Breathing here. One long inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back to standing. Release the arms, release the legs. Exhale, we start to hinge at the hips. We start to fold forward with a long spine. Send that left leg behind you. Standing leg can be slightly bent. Press into the heel. And then standing splits. Hands come to the ground or to some blocks or water bottles or anything that you're using here. If you can't quite touch the ground, bend your standing leg more. Make sure you send this right thigh towards the back of the room so that both sides of the torso can be long. Lifted leg is active. You're lifting with the back of the left leg, the glutes. Breathing here. Going to any variation that works for you. You can bring the chest closer to the ground, especially if you find you're bending your arms. And then when you're ready, standing leg bends, touch the back toes down, spin the back heel down. Inhale, come up to your warrior two, gaze forward, and then reverse your warrior. When you're ready, triangle pose. Coming back to that half moon pose. This time, if you can, you're going to bring your left hand behind you, find a half line. So we're not going to take the Trikonasana variation. We're going to add a little bit more balance. We're going to make sure that we keep that chest open to the side of the room. Inhale, rebend that front leg. Exhale, slide that back leg in. If you can, reach that right arm forward. Start to press that right leg to straight, lifting the left leg. Breathe, breathe, breathe. We're here for 1, for 2, and release. Come back to your warrior to release that left hand. Exhale, circle the hands down. Get it on that back toes. Pull heel your right leg to the outside of the arms. Or runner's lunge. Feel free to stay here, or you can lower that back knee. Runner's lunge. Make sure the hips are square here, so that right hip is not further forward than the left. Stay on the hands. If you'd like, you can also come onto some props to lower onto your forearm. And then if you'd like, you can also lower all the way to the mat. Just make sure, whichever variation you choose, very even. So if you feel like your left arm can get down, but that right arm is just kind of floating off of the ground, I'd rather you be at that level where the chest, the spine isn't twisted. We're reaching our collarbone forward. That right knee is stacked on top of the ankle, not past the toes. You're hugging that right knee into the midline. Now, if you'd like to add a twist, adding on, we come onto our hands with or without cups. So just roll onto the outside edge of that right foot. So that right side of the foot is going to be on the mat. Your arch, bottom of the foot's lifted. Roll the outer leg towards the side of the room. If this is enough, stay here. If you'd like, Start to roll the chest, spin the chest so that you're opening up to that right leg. Press into that left arm. Try not to dip into this left shoulder. Adding on if you like. Back knee bends. Maybe reaching behind you, right thumb on top, grabbing the outside of that back leg. Breathe, breathe, breathe. We're here for 3, 4, 2, 4, 1. Gently unwind. Try not to slingshot that back leg. Replant the hands on the ground. We're going to tuck the back toes, lift that back knee. And then here, we're going to take that right heel, right here, right heel to right seat. Stand that right leg behind you, hovering in a plank pose with one leg lifted if you'd like. Exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, both legs flat. Come into your heart opener. And then exhale, we meet. And downward facing dog. So these are just add-ons. They're variations to add to your practice if you would like to make it more challenging. If not, take the same variations we usually do. All right, inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, meet me at the top. We gotta do the other side. Inhale, come up halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come into that chair pose. This time, standing leg is your left leg. Inhale, right leg lifts. And then we're gonna set up for that twist. First, making sure that right hip is not higher than the left. And then when you're ready, as you turn your chest towards the lifted leg, reach both arms out. Make sure you're reaching crown of the head up towards the sky so you stay nice and long in the spine. Try not to lean forward and back, but if you're leaning back, reach your left arm a little bit more forward to get the shoulders upright. Inhale back to center. Exhale, cross that right leg over the left as you sit into your eagle pose. Reach the arms forward. Left arm comes underneath this time, whichever side you didn't do. Grabbing onto the back of the shoulders, back of the palms touch, or palms cross. Eagle pose. Sit a little bit lower. You can get lower on one leg than two, so this should be lower than your chair pose. Think about drawing both sitting bones towards the ground evenly. So if you had a chair behind you and you were to sit down, both hips would touch evenly. All right, gently release. Come back to that one-legged mountain pose. Start to hinge at the hips, send that right leg back, and then come into your standing splits. Hands on the ground, standing leg can bend as much as needed. And then here, roll that right hip down if it's higher than the left. And also send this left thigh to the back of the room so that both sides of the torso are long. Standing leg is strong, but not locked out. So that means that you're not locking your knee. Lifting the back leg with the glutes. When you're ready, rebend that standing leg, back toes come down. Come into your warrior 2. Reverse your warrior on your inhale. Exhale, triangle pose, front leg straighten. Reach that right arm behind you if you want to add on that challenge. You can always just take half moon with that right hand on the right hip. You're going to come into that balancing position. Gaze forward. Rebend that left leg. Slide that back leg in a little. Reach your left arm forward. Allow that to lift your right leg. Engage that right leg. Toes slightly pointing down. Half moon. Right shoulder is stacking on top of the left so the chest stays open. And then when you're ready, softly land. Release the arms. Warrior 2. Circle the hands down. Pivot onto the back toes. Toe heel your left leg to the outside of the arms. Lower the back knee down if you'd like. You can always keep the knee lifted in your runner's lunge. Square off the hips. Imagine drawing that left leg towards you. Press into that left heel. Drag that leg in. You feel the back of that left leg turn on. Any arm variation of your choice. Staying on the hands, coming to the forearms. Elevating with props if that helps. And then when you're ready, we add the twist. We're going to bring that back knee down if you haven't already. Untuck the toes. You're going to start to roll onto the outside edge of that left foot. Turn that left leg externally, rotating. Turn the chest. Your option to bend the back leg, option to reach back, thumb on top, capturing that back foot, the outside of the foot. You might get a quad stretch in the front of that right leg. Press your right hand into the mat, lift the side of the torso away from the mat, and then gently release. Finding the hands, tucking back toes, lifting back knee. Here, left heel to left seat, send the left leg behind you, but not touching the toes down. So coming into your one-legged plank if you'd like. Lower down halfway, chaturanga. Both feet come down. Inhale for your heart opener. Exhale, we meet. And downward facing dog. Full inhale here. Open out, exhale, side out. Really good, guys. I know there's a little bit hard with the balance challenges. Hopefully it's a little bit fun to try out different variations. Inhale, bring your gaze forward. Exhale, maybe at the top of your mat. Inhale, we come up halfway lift. And then exhale to fold. Inhale, come into that chair pose. Hands at the heart. You're going to take a standing figure four. If you prefer, you can always come onto your back and do this on the back instead. You're going to cross that right ankle. You can come all the way to standing first. You can cross that right ankle over the left thigh. So maybe it makes more sense if I'm facing. Yeah? So flex the right foot to protect the knee. And feel free to stay standing. Make sure the shoulders are on top of the hips, hips on top of where your feet would be if you're standing. Feel free to stay there, or start to bend the standing leg. Start to sit both hips down evenly. Notice if that right hip is coming up. Drop both so they're even here. Feel free to stay, or if you can bring the chest a little bit closer towards that cross leg, option to do that. And then if you are folded here, again, hips are level. We can start to reach towards the ground. That's a variation you want to try. If your hips are screaming at you, don't do this as far. Start to unravel. This is a standing balance. If it's all going okay, maybe grab that lower leg. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then gently unwind. Roll back up to standing. Other side. Standing leg is your right leg. Left ankle crosses over the left. Flex the foot. And then again, option to stay here standing. You're taking this left leg to external rotation. It's a little bit harder to keep this left leg lifting than tree pose, because in tree pose, you can press the foot into the standing leg, and you can press the standing leg to the bent leg. All right, figure four, standing, or if you're taking this into your one-legged chair, start to fold at the hips, start to bend the standing leg, option to stay here in a lifted variation, or with a long spine, start to take your chest closer to the leg, maybe reaching the fingertips towards the ground. This could help with your balance. If you want a little bit more, capturing the lower leg, like that on the standing leg. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Wherever you're at, make sure you're not holding your breath. Gently release, unravel, and stand all the way up. Do a little dance, whatever you need. Shake out the hips, roll out the fingers, roll out the ankles, wrists. All right. When you're ready, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, we come up halfway, long spine. Exhale, we plant the hands, we come onto tabletop, and then we roll onto our backs. From here, bring the knees into the chest, give yourself a quick squeeze, maybe roll from side to side. And then we're gonna take bridge pose, finding the feet. We're gonna take a few bridges here. If you have a block handy, we can take restorative later on one of the last sets. But if you don't have a block, it's okay. You can take an active variation. You can use a pillow instead if you have a big giant pillow or stacking pillows to
Great. So toes pointing forward, arms by the sides. Inhale, press into the feet. Start to roll your spine upwards towards the sky. And then roll onto the upper arms by sliding the arms underneath you. So you find a chest expansion. Pull on the edges of your mat or interlace the fingers underneath without losing the upper arms underneath you. Bridge pose. Press into the feet. Make sure the heels are grounded as well as the big and small toe mound of the feet. Think about sending your tailbone towards the back of the knees. And then lifting the hips here. Draw the feet towards the shoulders without actually moving in space. Gently release the arms. Roll all the way back down. Second set. Again, adding on. Rolling the spine up. So pressing into the feet, lifting the hips. Rolling the upper arms underneath. Option with grabbing onto the edges of the mat or interlacing the fingers. Here, start to lift your right heel without lifting your right hip, without dropping the left hip. So keep the hips level, and then replace that right heel. Just seeing how that feels. When you're ready, lifting your left heel. See how that feels. Can you keep the pelvis stable? Gently release. Back to that first side. Lift your right heel, option to stay, or lift your right toes as well. If your right foot is lifted, maybe drawing that knee up towards the sky. It's okay to keep that leg bent. Feel free to stay or start to straighten that right leg out. Give that left leg a little bit more juice. Press both hips up. And then gently rebend that right leg. Replant that right foot. Keeping the hips lifted if you can. Lift the left heel. Option to stay or lift the left toes. Bring the knee up towards the sky. Option to stay or lift the left leg. Reach the toes up towards the sky. Lift both hips up. Make sure that right heel is grounded. And then rebend the leg. Replant the foot. Press the hips up for one more inhale. Exhale. Roll out the arms. Roll all the way back down. If you have a block or a few pillows, slide this underneath on this next set. Restorative bridge. Inhale, pressing the hips up. Slide this block under the hips, underneath the pelvis. So it's going to be lower than your lower back. So not on the lower back. Feel free to stay here, or if you're using some support of the pillows, don't worry how high it gets. I just want to make sure that when you're in this position, we're stretching the front of the belly, we're stretching the hips. Start to toe your feet away from you. Any amount that feels okay for you without taking it into the lower back. So if this is not very high off the ground, that's perfectly okay. If you're taking a regular bridge, again, feel free to do so. Any variation, adding on if you'd like, those one-legged options. If you have the hips lifted and you want, you can take the arms overhead, grab onto opposite forearms. That's not comfortable for the neck. Again, you can reach the arms by your sides or keep the arms by the sides. This is a great stretch for the front and the hips, for the belly. But if you feel it in your lower back, please make sure to rebend the legs a little and come to a variation that has an intensity that works for your body. Arms by the sides, replant the feet with the legs bent, lift up, roll all the way back down. Bring the bottom of your feet together, one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Open the eyes or close the eyes. Notice the rise and fall of the chest and the belly with your inhales and exhales. Breathe into both hands. Back to your normal breath. See if you can steady the breath. And then bring the hands to the outside of the legs. Bring both legs back together. We're going to take a supine twist. Right knee comes in.
The left leg extends out long. Both hands to that right shin. Inhale, knee to the chest. Exhale, draw this right leg over and across the body. You can reach that right arm out long. Gaze over that right shoulder if it's okay for the neck. Remind yourself to send this right leg towards the end of your mat so that you don't shorten up on the right side of the torso. Press the left ribs towards the ground. And then gently unwind, set up for the other side. Coming through the center, both knees in the chest. And then ascending that right leg out long. Both hands come to that left shin. Inhale, knee to the chest. Exhale, bring this left leg over and across the body. Left arm extends. You can gaze over that left shoulder if it's comfortable for you. Lengthen both sides of the torso. Send the left thigh towards the end of the mat. Relax the muscles in the legs, in the torso, in the face. Taking a passive twist, allowing gravity to bring that left leg as a weight across the body, across the spine. Gently come back to center when you feel even. Bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a quick squeeze. And we find ourselves in a full body stretch. We're going to reach through the fingers and the toes. Allow the lower back to lift. Inhaling here. On the exhale, walk just your feet or your right legs towards the left side of your mat. Reach your arms up and over, creating a giant C shape. And then here, you can either cross that right ankle over the left, or if that feels a little bit unstable, cross your left ankle over your right. So you're getting a side body stretch on the right side. If this is uncomfortable for the shoulders or the neck, feel free to change the right arm, maybe crossing that right arm over the belly. You can also bring the left arm to reach the fingers towards the toes. Keeping this restorative pose, lateral stretch, sometimes referred to as a banana asana. I like to think of it as a half moon pose, just on your back. Crescent moon, I guess. Gently unwind. Find your full body stretch in the center. Uncross the legs, reach your fingers and toes. Inhaling here. On the exhale, moving the feet towards the right side of your mat. Reach the arms up and over to the same side, keeping the hips. Find a cross of the legs that work for you on this side. And then any arm variation of your choice. You want to feel like you're able to release the muscles that are working. If you feel like anything's still hanging on somewhere, change up the arms, the legs, maybe the neck. When you're ready, when you feel even, find that full body stretch one last time. Inhaling here. And exhale out. Bring the arms by your sides, but not touching the body. You can step the feet a little bit wider. Allow the toes to fall out. This doesn't feel good for your lower back. You're going to bend the legs and have the feet wide. Allow the knees to fall in for constructive rest. Wherever you're at, try to find something symmetrical, unless you can't be on your back. But then you want to lay on your left side, using your bottom arm as a pillow. Start to settle into the final pose of your class. Start to let go any areas that may still be working. Soften the face. Come back to your normal breathing. Give yourself permission here to do nothing. Give yourself permission to be in stillness. Allow yourself to receive all the benefits of your physical practice. The movement part of your practice has happened. Anything that did or did not happen, let it go. Now allowing yourself some time to be in stillness. Next inhale, begin to breathe a little bit deeper. So to draw your thumb across each fingertip. Find a little bit of space in between each toe. And lengthen your legs out if they were bent. Reach the arms overhead. Find a full body stretch. Inhaling here. And on your exhale, bend the arms, bend the legs, roll over to your favorite side. Take a moment to pause. Give yourself thanks for making time for your mind, for your body. When you're ready, roll yourself up to a seated position, hands at the heart. Keep the gaze soft. Try to bring this feeling that we've created with you off of the mat. Thank you very much for letting me be your guide today. It's an honor to be part of your practice. Thumbs in between the eyebrows. The light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. Together we bow with gratitude for the practice. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. It was my pleasure to be here for you today. If you have the means for donation, my donation information is in the description of the video. But don't let that stop you from joining us at any time. This is yoga for your friends, your family, any Center One members, whoever you'd like to invite. And if you have any special requests, make a comment, send me some information on what you'd like to see, and have a wonderful rest of the day.